Thailand. My name is Alex.
And I'm Jay.
And we got some news updates for you from around the land of smiles today, this Tuesday, June 10th. Before we begin, please remember to subscribe to the Thaiger to stay up to date on all things Thailand. Now, today, we'll be talking about digital nomads stranded amid the chaos of Thailand's new visa scheme. A Thai lawyer who's come forward to claim the mysterious 12 million baht found in the trash. And a little later, a fatal bus crash in Malaysia that has rocked the nation. Now, before we begin, though, let's hear a quick word from our sponsor, Jay. Would you mind to tell us? Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you to Fazwas for sponsoring the show. They're one of the largest real estate portal in Thailand. So if you're looking to buy, sell, or rent property in Thailand, check out fazwas.com.
Yeah, fazwas.com. All your property needs in one place. All right, now let's get into our first story of the day, which is a bit of positive news about the ongoing conflict between Cambodia and Thailand along the border, as Cambodia is now withdrawing troops from the Thai border after bilateral talks. That's right, Cambodian troops have withdrawn from the contested Chongbuk border area in Thailand's Uban Ratchathani province after talks with Thai forces. The agreement reached on June 8th, that was yesterday, follows a Cambodian request for dialogue and was approved by Thailand's military leadership. Both sides agreed to return to previous positions held last year, with Cambodian forces also required to fill in trenches they had dug. Weekly bilateral meetings will now be held at the site. This development came after Thailand began restricting border crossings on June 7th as part of a four-stage response to Cambodia's earlier incursions and skirmish in the area. Now, I do want to say yesterday I did make some erroneous claims. Oh, look, there's a temple that's at the center of this controversy, but this goes way further back. It's back to colonial borders that were drawn by, I believe it was French forces for more than, like at the beginning of the 19th century. There's nationalist pride involved. There's religious pride involved. It's a very complicated subject. And for a long time, both sides had sort of deferred to like, okay, you know what? We're not going to make a big deal about it. But it has flared up into something that now they decided that they do want to make a big deal about. But the big talks will be held in about 4 days on June 14th.
Yeah.
And for now, it seems like both sides are trying to err on the side of de-escalation and peace. So good news there. All right. Moving on to our next story, which we're down in Pattaya. Okay, so Russian man goes to relieve himself in the woods, ends up getting jumped, assaulted and robbed. A 54-year-old Russian man, Mr. Guvoy, was assaulted and robbed in Pattaya on June 8th after entering a wooded area near Wat Bunkanchanaram to relieve himself. While smoking, he was struck on the head by two suspects, believed to be a teenage male and a younger boy, causing him to lose consciousness. He later discovered personal items missing and reported the incident with his wife to Pattaya police in the early hours of June 9th. Authorities have launched an investigation and are searching for the suspects. Well, that's a bummer. You go into the woods, you try to take a little
Relieve yourself.
little potty break, which you shouldn't be doing, I guess, anyways. But certainly don't expect to be jumped and assaulted. Fortunately, the man is okay. Like, getting knocked out is not a great thing, but not a lot.
You can get an idea of the type of area he's at. I mean, a lot of crime still happens in Thailand. We go on and on about how safe it is, and it is very safe in general, and compared to other Western countries, even like a haven. Yeah. But especially the further out you go away from the city, the more crime. Yeah.
We get yelled at sometimes for reporting on these stories and not on good stories.
Fear mongering, Alex.
I know.
Fear mongering.
And
you are solely responsible for the lack of tourism in Thailand.
It
at the moment.
My fault. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, that's what am I supposed to report on? Hey, people go to work and just have a nice day. Like I don't know. These things happen, and I think it's important to bring attention to it so that something gets done about it. So I don't know.
We got comments. I was talking to Alex about yesterday. Somebody emailed in talking about how we don't only talk about the happy stuff.
Yeah.
And I would like to say to that, you're absolutely right, sir. Yeah. Alex says he's off the rails. I can't control him. He's just doing what he wants. My hands are tied.
Yeah, it's true. And
Phuket police hunt foreigners who brutally beat mall security guard. Phuket police are searching for two foreigners who violently attacked an 18-year-old security guard, Ruslan Uma, after he told them not to urinate in front of a Patong shopping mall on June the 7th. One assailant punched and slammed him to the ground while the other joined in before both fled. Ruslan is now hospitalized with serious head injuries, including internal brain bleeding. The incident has sparked public outrage, with Ruslan's sister calling for swift justice. Police are continuing their investigation to identify and arrest the attackers. Well, we're still waiting on more information on who the attackers are. Obviously, we've said that they're foreigners. They look like they're tourists. We have no idea what nationality they were in. Not that that's even important. But being told not to urinate in public in front of a shopping mall and getting beaten up for it. We don't know if we don't know if they're what exactly the conversation was, but should have never happened. Come in, Alex.
For those of you keeping track at home, that is not one but two stories involving foreigners urinating in public for today. So both on the wrong side of a beatdown. But in any case, it's a bummer. Just trying to do your job, security guard, and then ending up hospitalized. Yeah. Fortunately, it's not. He's alive, so that's good to know. But
he's in a serious condition, man. Internal bleeding. I mean. It's just doing his job. Why would you just urinate right in front of in a parking lot? Again, people think it's Thailand and they think they can get away with it. That's why they do it.
It's very frustrating. And this is not indicative. There's so many people that come to Thailand, you're gonna get some bad apples. Let's be real. But at the end of the day, you get caught urinating in public. Just say sorry. I don't know. Put it away and then go about your business. I don't know what the reason is to retaliate. That's some messed up stuff. All right. Anyways, that's it for the true bummers of stories in Thailand, at least. We're gonna move on to our next story, which is about digital nomads who are being stranded amid chaos over Thailand's new visa scheme. Thailand's new Destination Thailand visa, also known as DTV, designed to attract digital nomads, is facing backlash due to delays, inconsistent embassy procedures, and lack of clear guidance. Applicants across Southeast Asia, particularly in Cambodia, Laos, and Malaysia, report long wait times, shifting requirements, and communication breakdowns. Some, like one European applicant stranded for 5 weeks, have run out of money while waiting. Conflicting processes between embassies and the rule that applicants must stay in the country during processing add to the confusion. Calls are growing for clearer guidelines and a digital tracking system to resolve the chaos. So this is one of the big issues, I think, particularly when it comes to immigration in Thailand, that the rules aren't clear and that they shift. It's shifting sands all the time, so people don't really understand. Okay, what do I need to do? Everybody wants to come to Thailand. Who doesn't? I don't blame them. But the rules about how to get in end up being opaque and unclear, and now people end up stranded. It's a bummer. So,
True.
Yeah, not the only vague rules in Thailand, but what are you going to do?
Well, almost every visa is vague. I mean, they have gray areas. I don't think any visa is clear. Even the elite visa, unless you're paying top dollar to an agency to do it properly for you. And even then you can actually get in trouble. They have made it easier to get it. Once again, if you do it through agencies, there's always a much cheaper way to do it by yourself, but then you have to deal with the bureaucracy and the annoyance of working with the Thai government.
That's my big gripe, is that I do not want to try to navigate these systems on my own and working. There's a reason why immigration lawyers and agents exist and have jobs, is because they make it a lot easier to navigate those systems.
All right. Well, moving on to our last story from around Thailand, an update from yesterday's story. NBTC advisor claims abandoned 12 million baht found in trash was his.
It was mine too.
Yeah. Drama surrounding the story regarding millions of baht in the trash. A Thai lawyer and advisor to the NBTC, Thirawat Sengkao, has claimed ownership of 12 million baht in cash found in a rubbish area of a Nonthaburi condominium. The money was discovered on June the 5th in a plastic box by a resident, sparking public suspicion. Thirawat says the cash was his savings, moved due to a leak in his unit, but forgotten and mistakenly discarded. Police have not returned the money, citing lack of proof and unclear CCTV footage. The incident, now under investigation, has raised concerns about potential corruption given Thirawat's prominent roles at NBTC. There we go. Hey, it's just my cat. I just forgot. I just mistakenly put 12 million baht of my savings in the trash.
Yeah.
And didn't realize until it was found and made national news.
Yeah. a bit sus, you're gonna say. I don't know what, you know, how do you forget about 12 million baht?
Yeah.
Like, oh, oops. Oh, yeah, that's mine.
Yeah.
Like, it's so pristine, too. All those, like, stacks of thousands. Look, I don't know. The police are a little suspect, too. They're like,
Yeah.
are you sure? Really? Like, I'm not entirely sure. And how do you, what's the burden of proof?
Yeah.
Right? Like, if you're just keeping all of, like, 12 million baht just under your bed or something like that,
How much tax did you pay on this? Did I say it was mine?
Right. Yeah,
I think if I'm mistaken, it wasn't mine. Yeah.
Yeah, a weird story. We're gonna keep our eye on it though because everybody's talking about it. It's an interesting, curious case.
Yeah.
We'll see what the resolution is.
All right.
Yeah. Well, that'll do it for our Thailand section of the news, guys. Before we get into our ASEAN section, Hot, you got the ad ready? Yeah. We'll hear a word from our sponsors very quickly. Go for it.
Wow, welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen. Fazvas, Thailand's home for real estate. Once again, if you're looking to rent, buy, or sell your property in Thailand, check out fazvas.com.
Thanks, Fazmas, for sponsoring the show. All right. Look, I know we've had a bit of a... there's been some downer stories, and unfortunately, we still have to get through at least one more, which, unfortunately, this is a big news coming out of Malaysia.
Yeah.
And we've seen similar stories to this happen here in Thailand. Unfortunately, it's still kind of a little bit of an issue across Southeast Asia. Now, in Malaysia, a bus crash has killed 15 university students in the deadliest accident that has occurred in years. That's right, at least 15 people, mostly university students, were killed when a bus collided with a minivan in northern Malaysia near Gedik on June 10th. That's earlier today. The victims included 14 students from Sultan Idris Education University and a bus attendant. 33 others were injured, with several in critical condition. The crash occurred around 1 a.m. The students returned from a holiday. Witnesses reported brake issues before the bus overturned. Authorities are investigating possible human error or technical failure. Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim expressed deep sorrow and called for greater caution on Malaysia's notoriously dangerous roads. This sucks.
Yeah.
University students, everyone was pretty much between the ages of 21 and 23, way too young. It also, this is one of those things, there's a lot of overnight travel. There's a lot of questions. Everything is speculative right now. The investigation is ongoing. Was it user error? Was there a technical error? No matter what, there was some mistake somewhere along the way, whether that's in the inspection of the bus or whether the bus driver was tired. We don't know, but that's why it's very important to get to the bottom of it, because this is really shocking stories, and these families are going to be missing some very important loved ones.
Unfortunately, I mean, once again, Malaysia being highlighted in a negative light for travel.
Yeah. We've had these stories here in Thailand.
Yeah, of course.
It's a bummer, and it's just hopefully with attention brought to it, some positive change can be affected. But for now, mourning and
I mean, we had that major bus tragedy in Thailand where the bus blew up in flames because they were using gas tanks.
Super not cool.
Yeah.
And then there was I remember there was one incident. It was like almost like a Final Destination situation where the bus exploded, but everybody was like off the bus on a lunch break or something like that, where it was like, okay, no, I don't know if anybody's seen Final Destination recently. That seems like that kind of a thing. Scary, and hopefully, like I said, some change can be affected with these cautionary tales.
All right, moving on to our next story, we're going to Vietnam as police seize over 25,000 fake Marshall products in a Facebook scam. Hanoi police have seized over 25,000 counterfeit items, including fake Marshall speakers, smartwatches, and Fujitsu vacuum cleaners in a Facebook-based scam run by a group led by 30-year-old Le Hu Min. The goods, worth around 22 billion Viet Dong.
Yeah, Vietnamese dong.
US $844,000 were sold via a fake Marshall website and promoted with bogus anniversary discounts.
Whoa.
The scammers evaded detection by frequently changing delivery companies. Seized items including thousands of smartwatches, earbuds, and fashion accessories. Police are now investigating 5 suspects involved in the large-scale counterfeit operation.
By the way, I believe the name is Le Human. I love the Le Human. That sounds like Pepe Le Pew. How do you get all these fake?
China.
What happens to them though after they seize them?
I don't know.
Yeah.
They're just distributed amongst friends.
Yeah, 25,000. That's a lot of friends. I think.
Look, I've thought about this before, right? And I mean, this is not something that you think about every day, but let's take a moment to think about it. Whether it's the police seizing cars, fake goods, drugs, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Sooner or later, they don't have the room for it, right?
Yeah.
There's no warehouse full of counterfeit items and drugs and cars and stuff. I know they auction off the cars
Not
and
the
stuff
drugs,
like
yes.
that. Yeah, but you can't auction off the drugs, and you can't really auction off the fake Marshall
Well, they
speakers.
usually burn the drugs.
Yeah.
I think what happens with these things? Yeah, I'm
But
unaware.
what do you do with the Marshall speakers? You
I
know,
don't know. Yeah, it's a good question.
throw it in the trash.
Yeah,
A good working fake Marshall speaker.
it seems like a waste a little
Yeah.
bit. Like, I know there's some copyright infringement going on, but
Yeah.
those are still.
Did you just take the logo off and sell the remaining?
Yeah,
thing? I don't know.
I'm curious to know. but-
Let us know if you know the answer.
yeah, please.
I'm gonna Google. I'm gonna ChatGPT this while you do the next
nice.
story.
Sorry, find out. All right. Well, anyways, our next story, we're off to the Philippines, where, of course, the impeachment trial of Sara Duterte is ramping up. The Senate president is defending the pace of Vice President Duterte's impeachment trial. Senate President Francis Escudero has rejected calls to fast-track Vice President Sara Duterte's impeachment trial, stating the Senate will adhere strictly to constitutional procedure. Despite public rallies and pressure from groups like Akbayan and Tinding Pilipinas, Escudero insists the Senate will convene as an impeachment court on June 11th as scheduled. He warned that rushing the trial would during Congress recess would have been unconstitutional and risk a Supreme Court challenge. Escudero stressed that the process must follow legal precedent, not public pressure or political timeliness. Yeah, I think that adds up. So Escudero, he's the Senate president. He's going to be in charge of the impeachment trial, trying his best to play an impartial role. It is very difficult to be impartial when it comes to the feud that goes on between the Marcos clan and the Duterte clan. Very strong battle lines drawn. But I guess we'll find out about this Senate trial, this impeachment very soon, and what the fate of the Duterte political dynasty will look like over there.
All right. Well, we'll move on to our last story today, which takes us to Indonesia as it urges BRICS to embrace AI for education transformation. At the 12th BRICS Education Ministers meeting in Brazil, Indonesia's Higher Education Minister Brian Yuliarto urged BRICS nations to prioritize AI integration in education. He highlighted AI's potential to personalize learning, boost teaching efficiency, and widen access, particularly for Indonesia's vast education system of over 50 million students. Indonesia has already launched initiatives like the Rumah Pendidikan app and plans to introduce AI and coding in schools nationwide. Yuliarto called for BRICS-wide collaboration to overcome digital barriers, share best practices, and ensure AI use remains ethical, inclusive, and culturally sensitive.
Eyebrows raised.
Why not? Use the AI.
There's no denying it, right? Like, you can't swim against this current. The waves are crashing, and you can either surf them or drown in them.
Yeah.
However, AI has a lot of ups and downs. I think there's a lot of positive and negative. So thinking about whether or not the ethics will be addressed or whether we're going to dive in head first, that's a valid concern.
It is.
So I think we'll have to wait and find out exactly what this unfolds like. But I think denying that AI is going to be a big part of education in the future is a fool's errand.
Are you AI?
I am.
Are we going to be replaced by AIs?
I'm worried about that, actually. Well,
just an illusion?
I'll talk to you about that. I actually have some AI stuff to talk about when we get to the comments afterwards.
Well,
Let's wrap up the show, shall we?
Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, that's it. Those are some of the stories from across Thailand today. You can find more stories on thetiger.com or visit
ASEANnow.com.
That's Thailand's largest news forum.
Indeed. Yeah, you can also, please subscribe to The Tiger here on YouTube. Stay up to date. You can also follow us across all other social media platforms, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, wherever you get your doom scrolling fix. You can find us. Subscribe to The Tiger. You'll see a lot of content that you wouldn't normally see here on the main channel. For now, what do you say we dive into the comments and
Let's
see
do it.
what the viewers have to say?
Deep dive.
If you like that story, please like and subscribe. And for more Thailand news, follow us on Instagram, YouTube, or TikTok at The Thaiger, or you can go to thethaiger.com and join the conversation.